Hi everybody, it's Dandruff, and thank you so much for 500 subscribers. Holy cow, I cannot believe I have gotten this far. 500 more to go. Well, no, as many more as I can get. But to say thank you for 500 subscribers, I thought I would show everybody the machine that I use to get this entire show done. It's the machine that renders all the videos. It's the machine that plays all the games. It's what I stream from. It does everything that I want it to do. I absolutely love my computer. And her name is Amazeballz. And here she is. She was built back in 2015, and since then I have not touched my PlayStation 4. Now we're going to be going over pretty much everything in the machine. The first is the case, which may I say is absolutely monstrous. This is the biggest PC I have ever owned in my life. It's a Chaser Mark 1. Thermaltake Chaser Mark 1. I was really picky and choosy about which case I wanted because I knew I would be looking at it for forever pretty much. I plan on using this case in my next build. It's rather expensive. It has a hot swap dock in the top. It has a headphone rack right on the side. Don't have to think about where to put my headphones. It came with 2 RGB fans, the big ones on the side and the top. It also has a third one in the front, which I purchased later, but that one, the RGB isn't working right. It's got space for AIO water cooling. It's got space for everything you would ever want. I cannot believe how versatile this case is. I really do think that this was the perfect case for me. Even the back is cable managed well. I could not live with myself if I didn't have some good cable management in the back. Everything is under these 2 bundles of cables. The left side one is a bunch of data cables and 1 power cable. The one on the right is a bunch of power cables. Then you have access to all of the drives if you need to plug anything in or unplug anything. And here we have the heart of the beast, a thing that gets everything done. It's an Intel i7-5820K at 3.3 gigahertz across all 6 cores and 12 of its threads. It's got a 15 megabyte smart cache. It's got a TDP of 140 watts. It's very low power for what you have there, and I wanted to make sure that I had a better processor over something else that was available at the time, like the 4790K. I wanted those 2 extra cores in order to handle anything that I could throw at it, and it does. It streams like a dream. It renders videos extremely fast. I could not do the work that I do without this processor. Or better. The processor is liquid cooled with a Corsair AIO all-in-one 240mm H100i cooler. As you see here, the fans are actually on it backwards. It's going to pull air up through the radiator. Instead, I wanted to push brand new air down through the radiator. I made sure to fix this before I reinstalled it. And here we have the twins. These are 2 NVIDIA GTX 980s from EVGA. They both have 4 gigabytes of GDDR5 at 7010 megahertz and a core clock speed of 1450 megahertz each. I only had one of these cards in my machine when I first built it and then picked up a second one a year later from eBay. That's why the only difference between the 2 cards is the backplate, which it's really hard to get a backplate for them if you don't buy it right away when they're brand new. So sadly, that second one will never have a backplate. If the game I'm playing has an SLI profile, both of these cards keep me over 60 FPS, which makes me a happy dandruff. Oh joy, it's RAM time, and yay RAM! So this is 16 gigabytes of DDR4, crucial by ballistics. I really don't know what else to say about them, but RAM is RAM. I'm kind of known for saying RAM is RAM because whenever anybody asks me to pick RAM for them, I go with the cheapest thing I can find because it really is all the same to me. I went out and I got the cheapest RAM I could that looked alright. I made sure to get a heatsink even though the heatsink doesn't do anything for RAM. Well, what the hell is that little thing? Well, that is my boot drive. That has Windows on it, that has everything that I need to start my computer. It's a M.2 Plextor 128 gigabyte PCIe NAND SSD. It has write speeds of about 350 megabytes, but it's got read speed of over 700, and that is even while it's half full. I love this little drive. At the time, it was the cheapest PCIe M.2 on the market, and I paid about $1 per gigabyte. Yeah, if you want cheap solid state storage, this is not the way to go. Did someone say solid state storage? Well, then how about not one, not two, but three 2.5-inch SSDs? These are three Samsung 850 EVO 250 gigabyte drives. They are in RAID 0 and they are considered to be some of the best solid state drives on the market. All in all, it's a single volume that's 750 gigabytes and I get about a gigabyte per second both read and write. So no loading times for this YouTuber. It's really hard to miss the plastic blue thing that they're attached to. This is the drive sled so they can slide into the case with ease. I'll show you that in just a bit. Next, we have the only spinning rust in my computer. This is a single terabyte Seagate hybrid drive. I'm not going to go into the blah, 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 what makes it different from a regular hard drive. If you want to know, you can ask me in the comments. But it's actually faster than a typical hard drive because it can actually learn what files and programs are used more often and store them in its 8 gigabyte cache to be read more like solid state storage. Here we see it in its drive sled, and now we're going to place each of the 4 drives that I have into the machine. It's as simple as it looks. Each drive just slides in, the bar goes to the left, and it clicks in. All the drives in this case are completely toolless. If I can give anybody any tips out there for when you're building a computer, make sure you get a case where drives go in the side like this and not through the front or the back. That can be a pain in the butt. And what does everything plug into? The motherboard, of course. It's a Gigabyte X99 SLI. It's got space for 4 full-length PCIe X16 cards. It's got 2 M.2 slots. It's got onboard audio. It has all the bells and whistles that I will ever need, and then some. Now, I decided to not take the motherboard out of the case because of the sheer number of things that I would have to plug into it and unplug from it. That seemed like it was going to be a nightmare, and I didn't want to take more than, I don't know, 6 hours to record this thing. This video did take 2 days to make. Next, we have the power supply. Yes. Not really sure what to say about a power supply. It provides power to the machine. It's a 750 watt EVGA Supernova 80 plus gold certified power supply. I guess the good news about this thing is it hasn't blown anything else up yet. I'm just kidding. EVGA makes wonderful products. I recommend them over anybody else. This power supply included a tote bag for each of the cables, and the power supply itself has its own case, little bag thing. You know we're getting to the end because now we're looking at audio equipment. Or at least there is behind the pop filter. Let's get rid of that thing. Ah, there we go. So this is an Audio-Technica AT2020 condenser microphone. It's actually a very commonly used microphone for streamers and YouTubers. I picked this microphone up with the pop filter and the boom arm I use while streaming at a local music shop. So far it does everything that I need it to do, and as long as you don't talk into it really, really closely, it sounds pretty good. And then finally, we have a Logitech C920 1080p webcam. It's capable of shooting 30 FPS and again, is a great camera for any YouTuber or streamer out there. As soon as I get some softbox lights, I'm not going to use this to film the show anymore, but I am still going to use it to stream. And that about wraps it up for my computer. Thank you so much, everyone, for making it through the video this long. I hope it wasn't too boring. My computer is really important to me because I've been able to create all of the content on my channel with it, but it also means that I can play games the best quality that I have ever played in my entire life. And if you stuck around this long, you deserve a bonus, because there is some bonus content coming, because I would be lying if I said my desktop were the only thing that I used to get the show done. So let's show you what else I got. This is Amazeballz. Yes, that is a full computer. It's all packaged inside a Cooler Master Elite 110 ITX case. This is not only a file server, but it's running virtual machines and acts as my HTPC. 24 hours a day, this thing is running and always doing something. This is where all of my files are stored. It's what's running my Minecraft server, and it's currently playing My Little Pony. It's for my daughter. Here we have the heart of Amazeballz. It's an i3 4160 3.6 gigahertz across 2 cores and 4 threads. I call this processor the hardest working processor in my house because it's always doing something, whether it's playing media files, I'm storing files to it from either my wife's laptop or my own desktop, or if it's just running one of the 3 game servers it's currently running. As you can see, it's much smaller than my desktop processor, about a third of the size. Before I bought this, I thought i3s weren't worth considering buying. Now I just know it depends on their workload. As I said before, RAM is RAM, and this is no exception. This is just a little bit prettier. This is 12 gigs of DDR3 G-Skill Ripjaws. I am going to be upgrading to 16 gigs soon because it'll mean that I can run more VMs. Again, I really don't know what else to say about RAM. It's not that important to me, and this just happened to be what was cheap when I got it. I'll tell you, these next ones weren't cheap. Here we have the 4 main drives that are in Amazeballz, the 2 4TB Seagate 5900 RPM drives, a single 1TB WD Blue, and a 120GB Kingston solid-state drive. The reason why one is labeled TV is because that's where all the media files are. The other drive contains all of my stuff for News Cartridge and anything else that I do. The SSD is running Windows and any of the other VMs that I'm running, just to make sure that they've got the highest throughput possible. Then the 1TB Western Digital Blue 7200 RPM drive is used as a backup for important things that are on my main drive. Here's the motherboard for Amazeballz, and if I can give some advice to everyone, don't go out and buy the cheapest motherboard you can find. This is literally the cheapest ITX board I could purchase. It lacks a bunch of features that I could use, like front side USB support. It only has 2 SATA 6 ports and 2 SATA 3 ports, no RAID controller. It did come with a free Wi-Fi card, so yay! For now, this is good enough, but it may get replaced in the future. Finally, the power supply. This is a 430 watt, 80 plus certified. It doesn't have any gold or bronze or any kind of certification. It's just 80 plus certified and is non-modular, as you can see the Medusa of cords coming out the back. Again, it's EVGA. I like their style. I really like the company. Their customer support is very good, and I haven't had anything from theirs fail on me yet. Buy EVGA stuff if you can. This is no way sponsored by EVGA. I just really, really like their products. And that is that. That is my entire setup. That is everything that I have running right now. I would not be able to get the show done without these 2 machines and my wife's laptop, of course. Maybe I'll show you that later. Thank you again, everyone, so much for 500 subscribers. I'm currently sitting at 505, and I can't believe that number is still going up. You guys are all wonderful. I love you very much. I could not do this show if it weren't for the support of everybody out there. Thank you so much, and let's get to doing the news on Monday.